Hello, welcome to the Age of Sigmar Stats Center. I'm your host, Rob. This week, we have got a ton of events, and we have got 379 players, nearly 400 players playing across 8 different countries, across 13 different events, which is very cool. And we've got a really diverse bunch of winners. We are going to start the show talking about a ton of Bestigor, but as we get further into the games and the events, we're going to start seeing Stormcast pop up really strong. We're going to start seeing things like Seraphon and Sinesh and Blades of Khorne be also Sylvaneth all be very prevalent as well. We're not going to get any Iron Jaws. They seem to be massively struggling, but we also are seeing a really, really big, impactful kind of Stormcast impact as well post the new book. Lots of long strikes doing their work like they obviously do, but some very diverse lists as well as some diverse Slaves to Darkness lists, which is cool. Anyway, we're going to start looking at the events. Thanks for tuning in. As always, thank you to Warhammer Rob, who helps me put this show together, so I want to say a special thank you to him. And if you've got any thoughts about any of this, please do leave them in the comments below. See you soon. The first event that we are going to cover takes us all the way over to Austin, Texas. This is a 50-player event, the Smash and Bash 4, taking place in Austin, like I said, and organized by the wonderful people of the Austin Weird Knobs. One of the cool things about this, I think personally, if you're watching this, is it took place at the Dragon's Lair comic and fantasy store. It's part of like a strip mall with some like great food locations, but genuinely it's given me an amazing amount of vibes. Like the design of this whole thing is 11 out of 10. The local community feels really look like the local stores look really nice. Anyway, just looks like a really great location for an event. I just wanted to shout it out because me and the chat were quite impressed by it and I liked it. All right, let's go look at the results. And our first place and our only undefeated, our only person with 5 wins, I apologize, is Kenneth King of the Harambe's Heroes. Now, I'm willing, many people have criticized me in the past for not willing to say this, I'm willing to say that Kenneth might be doing a small amount of spam. Not that I really think that thing is real, but we do have a very thematic, maybe too thematic, army of Beasts of Chaos. That's right, Beasts of Chaos, top of the pile this week, ladies and gentlemen, coming from the indexes, out of ambush into the real game to win the event. So what's in the list? So he has got the Manifestation Law, the Bestial Manifestations, and his battle formation is the Marauding Bray Herd. His General's Regiment is a Great Bray Shaman, and then he has got 3 units of Reinforced Bestigor in this for 60. There's another Reinforced unit of Bestigor in the other regiment for 80 with a Great Bray Shaman and 2 younger units of Ungor. Bestigor, Rob, what's so good about them? Well, in the update, and actually as your Age of Sigmar friend, I hope that's what we are. I don't really know. Leave in the comments below what our relationship is. But it does turn out that the app, if you are using the app for rules, has got a different profile for Bestigor than the updated profile for Bestigor that is located on Warhammer Community, which is the downloadable PDF. Now, normally they correlate when they change something in the PDFs. Normally something in the app updates, but they didn't do that this time around, maybe because they're legacy factions and they don't plan on doing those sorts of things. What that means is in the app, it seems like there's the potential that they can get +1 attack and they have crit 2 hits with 3 attacks each. They've changed that, and so now they have crits on 5s with 3 attacks each. So when you're looking at a unit of 20 Bestigor, they're getting 61 attacks with crits on 5s, which is pretty good. And they do some pretty prodigious damage with that being a profile, even against good armor saves, like 3-up and 4-up saves. So it's just a ton of damage coming out of the Bestigor, which is what we're seeing. But a massive congratulations to Kenneth King. Massive congratulations to Kenneth. So yeah, do go onto the Warhammer community website, right, to go and see what the updated rules are for those. And if you are playing any of the legacy factions, it might worth be playing, if you're playing Bone Spitters as an example, might be worth going on the website, see if anything else has changed as well, re-downloading the PDF and see if there's an updated one. Okay, so Gavin, superstar, friend of the show, superhuman, great human being, Gavin Grieger, was also running Beast of Chaos. He was undefeated as well with 50 points, 50 points, 50 points, 50 points, and one single 36 point, which was a draw somewhere down this line here against Dylan with their Nighthaunt. So congratulations. And again, Beast of Chaos. Nuge doesn't deserve the Beast of Chaos trophy, which is a damning indictment of our friend from the West Coast, the Nuge. And he's also running the Marauding Brayherd. His manifestation law is the Bestial Manifestations. He's got a great Bray Shaman. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 reinforced units of Bestigor, a great Bray Shaman, and 2 units of Ungor. Okay, so could the Bestigor be too good? It's a great question. We should probably ask ourselves that. It seems like the answer is yes. Matt Taylor. So that's the undefeateds. Then we're going into the 4-1s, and we've got a nice diverse kind of roster here. Got Matt Taylor with his OCR Bone Reapers. So he was running the... let me just go get it for you. He was running the Mortek Ballistari battle formation. His manifestation law was the Horrors of Necropolis. His General's Regiment was Vortmortian, 2 units of Death Riders, a unit of Harbingers, a Mortek Crawler, a reinforced unit of Harbingers, I should say, sorry. A Morton Osspectre, Mortek Crawler, and 2 of the Terratic Cohort, which is cool. So, again, we're starting to see that diversity in the Bone Reapers list. And as soon as we're coming up towards the end of the month, you would expect, we have kind of been expecting there to be some sort of nerf to Kavalos Death Riders. So maybe players are starting to already diversify their lists, planning on that change in the future. So we'll see. But that's a cool list, and I love seeing the Crawler in there as well. Dimitri Hochard was running Hedonites of Slanesh in the Seeker Cavalcade with the Morbi Conjuration Manifestation Law. His General's Regiment was Glutos, 2 reinforced unit of Blitzbarb Archers, Keeper of Secrets, and then 2 units of Hellstriders. The Keeper of Secrets, it's worth pointing out that their 2 items, a Therandy of Voice Box and Into the Fray, is not the standard. Normally you'll see Strongest Alone on there, so that is an interesting side choice. 2 units of Hellstriders and a Slick Blade Seekers. So that is super fun. It does also, it's anti-meta as well, because while the Blitzbarb's fine, Glutos, but without the unit that also can't normally bodyguards Glutos, it's a very, very interesting choice. So I love that. JC Moore is running the Fire Slayers, and he is running the Scales of Volcatrix battle formation. His General's Regiment is the Auric Runefather. And then his General's Regiment is an Auric Runesmiter on Magmadroth. His next regiment is an Auric Runefather on Magmadroth. His next regiment is an Auric Runesmiter on Magmadroth. His 4th regiment is an Auric Runeson on Magmadroth as well. Whew. Pretty impressive. Now, this is not the first time we've seen spam Magmadroths or multiple Magmadroths doing okay. And again, going forward with this is absolutely excellent, so you should be super chuffed. Brian Lofton was running Bone Reapers again in the Kavalos Lance, more of a traditional list. Arch Kavalos Xantos, 2 reinforced unit of Death Riders, a Morton Soul Reaper. In fact, it's not that traditional. 2 reinforced unit of Mortek Guard, then a Mortisan Soul Mason, and 2 Terratic Cohort as well. Interesting. Very interesting, I would say here, especially the Mortek Guard, which is considered to all not be that great, but fantastic. That is a little bit off meta, and I like that as well. But Bone Reapers are just doing super good. I mean, there's no Nagash, there's no Catacross in here. This is a wild list. Very, very fun. So that's cool. Well done to Brian. Then Chase Fair is running Seraphon. Again, nice. Like that diversity is very cool. The Manifestation Law is Morbid Conjuration with Croak, a reinforced unit of Agrodon Lancers, a reinforced unit of Raptidon Chargers, a reinforced unit of Saurus Guard, and then a Skink Starseer, Hunters will haunt you with Dart Pipes, 1 with Bowlers, and then another reinforced unit of Raptidon Chargers. So these Raptidon Chargers kind of like been a sleeper pick in Seraphon for a while. The different hunters doing the different jobs is quite cool. But either way, they're 2 models that are just 2 units, that are just scoring points all day, which is great. Like the Terratic Cohort that we've seen in the list have done that same job. Take the 2 cheap units that are going to do your battle tactics. But the Croak in here, that's big. That's new. We haven't seen that. Which is cool. And then we got Isaac. Then we got Isaac Ramadan, and he has been running the Stormcast Eternals Vanguard Wing army. His General's Regiment is Ionis with an 8th of Wings, 1 small unit of Prosecutors, and as is tradition, reinforced unit of Vanguard Raptors Longstrike Crossbows. Lord's Lesson on Stardrake, which is such a good pick right now. Quest of Soul Sworn for the Strike First, a unit of Vanquishers, then Knight Arcanum and Griffhounds. I got to say, if you are a Stormcast Eternals player, Lord's Lesson on Stardrake, super fun. Like maybe one of the most fun models that you can have right now, running around and enjoying. And with a Quicksilver draft for Strike First, super effective as well. I covered it in my tier list video. Go back and check it out. Anyway, looked like a fantastic event, fantastic venue. Hope everyone had a great time. Let's go look at the next event. I made a huge mistake, and I missed Eric Otika's Soulblight Gravelords list. So I apologize about that. Let me go and bring this list back up so you can see it. Soulblight Gravelord's doing well as well. Great. So he was running the Bacchanal of Blood as a battle formation. He had Vordry, 10 Blood Knights, 5 Blood Knights, then Belladama, 5 Blood Knights, 5 Blood Knights, and 10 Direwolves. Absolutely love that. Belladama bringing like some good spell projection and some good magic here. The Blood Knights are just super solid. They're in that bruiser section of the game, which I really like. I'm going to make a video about that this week. But yeah, they're just very effective. They've got good saves, and they can do a ton of damage. Vordry, an absolute smasher. That's brilliant. Anyway, great. I apologize, Eric, for missing out on that list first time. Our next event takes us over to, keeps us in the USA, and we're over in Oklahoma for our Dark Omen GT with 47 players. Organized by Chase Lehman. Thanks, Chase, for organizing an event and being a good member of the community. So in first place with a 5-0 is Joe Cryer. Shout out to Joe, the Shadow Stream for life. Joe was running Tzeentch with a Weird Flame host, and his manifestation law was the Morbi Kunj. His general's regiment was Kairos Fateweaver, Chaos Spawner Tzeentch, the Changeling, and a reinforced unit of Zangar Skyfires. And then he had a Lord of Change, and then 2 reinforced unit of Blue Horrors and a unit of Flamers of Tzeentch. So Tzeentch, very, very, very popular. Very, very popular last week, as we know. But I think they definitely are right now in for maybe some sort of change. But don't forget, they got a big upgrade in the last Battle Scroll update. So really what we're seeing is Games Workshop kind of like giving us what they wanted us to have, which was a stronger and more powerful Tzeentch. Joe's also a great player and has been playing loads as well. Right, so jumping into the 4-1s, we have got Sean Sayer with his Sleeves to Darkness, God's Wrath Warband. His manifestation law was the Morbi Kunj. His general's regiment was a Gaunt Summoner. That is different. A unit Chaos Furies, a reinforced unit Chaos Warriors with a Mark and Nurgle, a unit of Ogroid Therodons that have been reinforced with a Mark and Nurgle, a Gaunt Summoner, another reinforced unit of Ogroid Therodons, a Raptorix, and 1 unit of Varangard with a Mark of Khorne. 2 reinforced unit of Ogroid Therodons is excellent and very different to what we've seen from other Slaves to Darkness builds so far. So that is very cool to see. Very much running Hammer and Anvil style Warhammer with the Chaos Warriors. That is super cool. Shout out to Sean. Then Garrett Keck was running Slaves to Darkness with the God's Wrath Warband with the Manifestation Law Morbi Kunj. He had Be'lakor, Varangard, Gaunt Summoner, Chaos Chosen that was reinforced. Varangard was reinforced as well. And then 2 units of Chaos Furies. So more of a traditional list that we've seen. But the Slaves to Darkness book is out very soon. So we might have all to play for with Slaves to Darkness, which is cool. But yeah, a special shout out to Sean. That's such a cool list. Then Peyton Priest is running a Cruel Boys. Cruel Boys was able to get a 4-1 with Manifestation Law being the Morbid Conjuration in the Lightfinger battle formation. His general's regiment was a Killer Boss and Corpse Ripper Vulture, a reinforced unit of Gut Rippers, a Swamp Caller Shaman of Potrot, 2 units of Cruel Boy Monster Killers, then a Snatcher Boss and Sludge Raker Beast, and then 2 units of Manskewer Bolt Boys. And then his last regiment was Swamp Caller Shaman of Potrot and Cruel Boy's Monster Killers. Very cool. So gone are the early days of Age of Sigmar 4, where we saw spammed Cruel Boy's Monster Killers. I mean, we never saw them spammed. We saw like 3 or 4 units. But now, as you can see, it very much looks like an army. There are 3 units of Monster Killers here, but reinforced Gut Rippers, Corpse Ripper, like very, very diverse kind of like roster. And the Manskewer Bolt Boys providing the overfire for the big unit of Gut Rippers is super cool. So love that. Well done to Peyton. Joe Vucic was running a Almighty Beast Herd Beasts of Chaos list with the Bestial Manifestations, Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, reinforced unit of Dragon Ogres, Great Bray Shaman, Ungors, a Beast Lord, and then a reinforced unit of Bestigor, another reinforced unit of Dragon Ogres as well. Beast of Chaos still playing through and having a diverse list now. And then got Bob Martin was running Khorne with the Brass Stampede with the Blood Blessings of Khorne. His general regiment was a Slaughter Priest, a unit of Mighty Skull Crushers, Rungor Rich List, Claws of Karanak, Mighty Skull Crushers, and then Bloodsecrator, Skull Reapers, reinforced, 2 units of Wrathmongers, and then he took Brand's Oathbound as a regiment of renown with Gunner, Singri, and the Oathsworn Kin, which are both they're brilliant units for trying to do battle tactics, because for 240 points, you end up with 3 different units that can go out and do battle tactics while the rest of your army is going out there and fighting. But Khorne, considered to be not particularly strong at the moment, having a very specific and different list, is very cool. No Bloodthirster in there, Wrathmongers, very fun. And then Laron Roberts was running a Heat Knights of Slaanesh in the Seeker Cavalcade Primal Energy Manifestation Law. And his general's regiment was Glutos, reinforced unit of Blissbarb Seekers, a small unit of Seekers, and then the reinforced unit of Twin Souls, which is what you normally see with Glutos, right? And then a Shard Speaker of Slaanesh, a reinforced unit of Blissbarb Archers, and then 2 units of Slickblade Seekers. So some very fast cav, and then that absolutely rock-solid Twin Souls Glutos combination, and a lot of shooting. Very fun. Slaanesh in there again as well. And then Carter Babs was running Lumineth Realm Lords. Yes, it's fair to say we have not seen Lumineth Realm Lords for the past few weeks since the update. It seems like people will drop their elf addiction as soon as they get the opportunity to. Anyway, Venari Battle Host, Manifestation was the Morbi Conj. The General's Regiment was Techless, reinforced unit of Sentinels, reinforced unit of Dawn Riders, a small unit of Wind Chargers, and then the Calagrave, a small unit of Wardens, and a small unit of Riverblades. So shout out to Carter for keeping the Lumineth dream alive, but they have absolutely tanked. But I do have a fun fact, actually, from my statman, Warhammer Rob, that the LRL meta representation has increased in November after the Fox nerf. So the meta representation has increased in November after the nerf. We just haven't been seeing any of them in the 4150s. That is super interesting. I like that a lot. Anyway, I hope everyone at the Dark Omen GT had a wonderful time, and thanks very much to all of the players there. But again, I would say, like, if we're just taking a moment to like review that section, Slaves to Darkness, but the Sean's list is very cool. Slaves to Darkness list, very different. I really like that. Cruel Boys, Blades of Khorne, Hedonites, and LRL. Again, like, we do see similar lists. No, sorry, we see similar armies always in these kind of 5-0s, 4-0s, 4-1s, but like they're normally quite disparate and diverse, and that's quite cool. Like a very alive, healthy game, I would say. Our next event takes us to Hampshire in the UK. Hampshire's a real place for non-English people. I promise you, to a place called Farnborough. So at this UK event, there were 44 players battling it out at the Warfare AOS event. So with 44 players, we've got Abaid, and I think this is Abaid's first GT win. Congratulations to Abaid, running Lumineth Realm Lords. I've actually got a sweet picture of most of the top section. This is Abaid with the fantastic hair in the middle left over here, going for a draw with his teammate Dom, in the middle. So Dom also came in second place. Anyway, Abaid was running an LRL list, so LRL players have hope. Running the Venari Battle Host, his Manifestation Law was Forbidden Power. His General's Regiment was a Venari Law Region, a unit of Sentinels, a unit of Dawn Riders, another unit of Dawn Riders, both of which were reinforced, and then a Wind Mage and 2 units of Wind Chargers. So again, the good shooting from the Sentinels, the pinning from the Dawn Riders, the Wind Chargers do shooting, do tactics, which is very solid as well. So congratulations to Abaid. He's been working really hard over the past few weeks and months, I know, playing AOS. So I'm really happy for him. Then Dom Stonebridge running a Highlander list with his Stormcast Eternals. So he was running Lightning Echelon with Karazai, a unit of Praetors, a unit of Vanguard Paladins with shock hand axes, not bows, not the spears, which is like considered the better choice. I like the hand axes though. A small unit of Vanguard Raptors long strike crossbows, only a unit of 3. And then Lord Celestial and Stardrake, a unit of Vigilers, a Knight Relictor, and the Quest of Soulsworn. So very much min units, like not even going for the reinforced unit of long strikes is pretty interesting. But I know Dom has been playing Stormcast Eternals a lot over the Age of Sigmar, 4 kind of like early meta rep. So I think he messaged me this morning. I know he's going to be changing it up. So that's great. Shout out to him. Then Nicholas Vaughan was running Soul Black Gravelords. He had Manfred, 20 Graveguard, 5 Blood Knights, 10 Black Knights, 10 Dire Wolves. This is all in the Bacchanal of Blood battle formation. And then he had a Necromancer, 3 Fellbats, 10 Direwolves, and 10 Direwolves running Morby Kunj as well. So that's the second Soulblight Gravelords doing okay in the 4-1 section. It's great to see. And very different. The other thing, obviously, was like Pure Blood Knights, but that was cool as well. Hazel Moon running Idneth. This is Hazel's like 4th or 5th different army that she's been playing with over AOS 4's kind of like length so far. Deepkin. So she's running Achillean Beastmasters. I did just put up a tier list for the Deepkin as well if you want to go check that out. Eidolon and Mathlan, Aspect of the Storm. And then, which I don't know why you would never take that, is absolutely excellent. And 6 Morsar Guard, 3 Morsar Guard, 3 Morsar Guard, then Volti, and 6 Ishling Guard, and 6 Morsar Guard as well. So yeah, go watch the tier list because that's got so much information for you to absorb about that, or the faction review, sorry, that I just did about that. But yeah, very solid. The amount of output that you can get from the eels is really impressive. There's no wizard in this list, but I think actually what is a bigger deal in this list, there's no Leviathan, right? There's no Leviathan. And also we're getting a bit of info from Rob as well. I think Hazel may have played at the most AOS 4 events in the world now. It's pretty interesting. We'll check that information in the future. Then we got Phil Sprignall with Blades of Corn. So Phil was running his Cornate Legion. Thanks, Phil, for writing "Hi, Dad" on here. He had a Bloodthirster Insensate Rage, a Skull Taker, a 5 Rash Hounds, and then a Realm Gore Ritualist, then 10 Skull Reapers, 10 Skull Reapers, 5 Wrathmongers, 5 Wrathmongers in his list, obviously taking the Judgments of Khorne. I've seen Phil play this a little bit over he came to an event here and played with it. The Skull Reapers are really good. They got a lot of output. Wrathmongers, obviously, in the support role and also output role as well. Bloodthirster is great. The Boom Thirster. Then it dies. You can bring it back, which I think is really solid as well. And I think if people are distracted with the Boom Thirster, then it lets your Skull Reapers do some solid work. Anyway, great work, Phil. Brent Evans with Carriage and Overlords, proving that they're not dead either. Again, probably no wizards. No wizards in this. Oh, no. Saviors. Oh, no wizards. So the Regiment of Renown was in here, Saviors of Cinderfall, which have dropped off, by the way, I would like to point out. If at the end of this month we do get an update to the Saviors of Cinderfall, because everyone was crying and moaning and weeping and pooing at the Battle Scroll update that we had about a month ago, maybe a little bit more. They're like, Saviors of Cinderfall should have been massively hammered, and we've basically not seen them in lists over the past few weeks now. So this is the first time we've seen it. Anyway, we've got Carriage and Overlords with the Engineers Guild Expeditionary Force. And the General's Regiment was an Arcanaut Admiral, an Arcanaut Ironclad, a reinforced unit of Thunderers and a Navigator, a company, a unit of Thunderers, and another unit of Thunderers for 30 Thunderers in this list. All right, absolutely all the output, all of the time. And then the Saviors of Cinderfall, which you never see anymore. So point proven by me. And then David McElroy with Sylvaneth was running the Sylvaneth Outcasts battle formation. His manifestation lore was Manifestations of the Deepwood with Alariel, a small unit of Colonel Thunder's Great Bows, then Belthanos, a unit of Gossamer Archers, a unit of Spike Rider Lancers, a unit of Tree Revs, and Spirit of Durthu. So I think that does also make that a Highlander list, which is super cool to see. But Belthanos, Gossamids, Spike Riders, excellent, very diverse, all min, which is good. So then obviously Alariel is able to bring those models back from the dead. That's very nice to see. So it gives them the most opportunity to bring units back, but no big hammer unit apart from Alariel and Belthanos. Very cool. Very cool. Shout out to David. Anyway, shout out to everyone at the Warfare AOS event. Hope you had a great time. A special shout out to all those cuties in the top who I know personally. And let's go look at the next event. Our next event is Trouble at Mill. Trouble at Mill, which is a very English way of saying like trouble at the mill. But that's how English people say it. Trouble at Mill. Anyway, 32 players, 32 legends really playing in England. They're playing at the fantastic Leodis Games, which is in Farsley in England. Now, if you are located in that part of the world, you should go over to Leodis. Super great community of people. And in addition, they've won Game Store of the Year for 2 years running. So it's a great little spot. They're an independent game store. They're working super hard. So you should go and check it out if you get the chance to do so. Anyway, if we're looking at the results, and the event was organised by Neil Pritchard, shout out to Neil. The event was won by Gareth Parnham, shout out to Gareth, of the Leodis Legion. And Gareth was running a Stormcast Eternals list with the Sentinels of the Bleak Citadel. Sorry, he's got Karazai, unit of Praetors, a reinforced unit of Vigilers, then Ionis, another unit of Praetors, and then two units that were reinforced. One unit of Prosecutors and one unit of Reclusians as well. So that's a very cool list. Ionis in there. It's fun. Two big monsters, all getting the 5 up ward save thanks to the Praetors. Vigilers giving people +1 to hit. It doesn't feel like it's got a lot of board presence, if I'm honest. You know, like you've got one unit of Reclusians, one unit of Prosecutors. It doesn't feel like you can bring all of it to bear in one spot, but maybe you can run it around as a big death ball. But still super cool. And I'm really happy for Gareth, so congratulations to Gareth. Then when we start looking at the 4-1, starting with the absolutely indomitable Peter Twig, he was running Idoneth Deepkin, so these are really hot right now. If you've seen people like Hazel and Pete picking up Deepkin, it means they've got the juices flowing creatively wise. Anyway, Deepkin, Achillean Beastmasters, an Eidolon Mathlan aspect of the Storm, then a unit of Ishling Guard, that have been reinforced, and a non-reinforced unit of Ishling Guard, then a Tidecaster and a reinforced unit of Reavers, and the Regiments of Renown. I knew Pete was a connoisseur of choice. The Regiment of Renown, the Black Talons, probably my favorite rule set in Age of Sigmar 4, to be honest. Regiments down the Black Talons, which is obviously super good as well, because you've got Deep Strike. Lorai comes in as an Idoneth Wizard. You get 3 drops out of this as well, so while you're dealing with everything else, these guys can go score your battle tactics. Absolutely 11 out of 10. Jimmy Wild, great human being, absolute great human being. Running Skaven, I'm really happy he's back with Skaven. Running the Fleshmeld Menagerie, not back, he's always played Skaven, but I'm happy he's playing. Running Manifestations of Doom, and he had a Greyseer, the Plague Pack, 2 reinforced unit of Rat Ogres, a reinforced unit of Storm Fiends, and then a Verminlord Deceiver and Clan Rats as well. So Jimmy's been playing Skaven a lot, so it's great to see that. Also quite different to what we've seen with like the 18 Rattling Guns as a list. So Storm Fiends, obviously, and the Rat Ogres actually can still do quite a lot of shooting, but they obviously can fight really well as well. And with the Manifestations of Doom, you got like the -1 to Wound Bell. That's cool. Then Sam Dutton Taylor was also running Deepkin. Wow. Deepkin all over the place in a minute. Achillean Beastmasters, Manifestation Law, Crunchman Incarnate. Then the Eidolon of Mathlan, the Achillean Morsar Guard, reinforced unit as well. And then another Eidolon of Mathlan with a Leviathan, another unit of Morsar Guard that had been reinforced, and Morsar Guard as well. So first time we've seen the Leviathan in the list. Normally those Morsar Guard featuring so heavily, and the reason they're featuring so heavily is all of the damage, D3 damage they can do with just a ton of attacks. So that's great to see. Well done to Sam. And then Jay Hine was running Sylvaneth in the Outcast battle formation with the Morby Kunj, with a Lariel, reinforced unit of Colonel Hunters with Scythes, Belthanos, Gossamer Archers, and then another unit of Colonel Hunters, but this time with Great Bows. So very different. And every Sylvaneth list will almost always have a Lariel. It has to have a Lariel because she brings the models back from the dead. So, you're already playing 700 points pre-written for you. But then seeing the switch up from bows to scythes, the bow's still in there, Belthanos making it into the list, and then a Branch Witch in with a unit of Tree Revs. Very cool to see. I think Sylvaneth, like I said, I shouted it out, said they're in that A tier. They can compete with the best of them. It's just a really hard match, so well done to Jay. And then Daryl is running a Skaven list in the Warp Cog Convocation with a Thankful and Bone Ripper, reinforced unit of Rattling Guns, an Arch Warlock, a unit of Clan Rats, and a reinforced unit of Rattling Guns, a Verminlord Deceiver, Clan Rats, and Night Runners. I feel sorry for all the Skaven players probably always having to paint up those Night Runners. Because you need them, maybe even 2 units of 2, really. But 12 Rattling Guns, Thanquol in there to make it so you can't receive all-out defense, and then just absolutely gunning people down, while things like the Clan Rats are great for holding objectives, and the Deceiver can cause you a real problem. Very cool list. Anyway, shout out to Liodes Games. Hope everyone had a good time. So look at the next event. Our next event takes us over to Italy for the Animal AOS GT. Cool thing about this event was that the entire event was Animal House themed. So loads of people were playing in togas, which is really fun. It took place here in Verona, this beautiful little location. And if we go and look at the results, we can see that our 5-0 is Sylvaneth, played by Andre. I'm going to apologize to everyone now in Italy for what's about to happen. Anyway, He was playing with his Sylvaneth army, and he was running Grand Alliance Order Sylvaneth with the Lords of the Clan battle formation and the Aetherwrought machineries. Then he had Lariel, a Tree Lord, a Spirit of Durthu, a reinforced unit of Gossamer archers, and the Twistveld and Belthanos. What's super cool, I want to thank Francesco for sending us a video with an interview that you're about to hear now, and from Andrea talking about the list, and you can see what the Italian event scene looks like.
Hello guys! Hello. Hi Rob, this is Francesco from Verona. Today we just finished the Animal House GT with the winner, my friend Andrea. Once again, nice, very well done for you.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, what do you feel about the army? What was it like for you?
I play Sigmar, only monster. I play Alariel, Tree Lord, Durthu, Belthanos, then Gossamit and the Twisted. For me, it's a very good army.
High mobility.
High mobility, but I must roll many single dice, randomly.
Yes, very few dice rolls.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's a funny army for me.
Okay. So you can see behind us there's one person wearing a toga.
Yeah.
That's because the team of the tournament was a toga party because of Animal House with him. So this was the first event here. What was it like for you? What do you think?
Good place, good food, good organization, beautiful trophy.
Beautiful?
Trophy.
Trophies, yes.
Yeah.
Just behind us. There we go.
Clima.
The people.
Good people, his game, his people.
Yes.
Okay.
I had a lot of fun as well. It was a very cool experience. Nice location, as you can see. Lots of interesting people, and I want to say that the scene in Italy is always better and better every year.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Back to you, Rob.
Bye.
Now we are going to look at the 4 wands, and we can see that, Jesus Christ, Eugenio Leonardi was running the Stormcast Eternals list in the Sentinels of the Bleak Citadels, and he was running Karazai, a unit of Praetors, a reinforced unit of Vanguard, a Raptors with long-strike crossbows, a reinforced unit of Vanquishers, then Lord Relictor, reinforced unit of Prosecutors, reinforced unit of Reclusians, and a unit of Vindictors. So not too dissimilar to some of the other lists we've seen previously. Vanquishers making it in there, being quite interesting. I think they're very, very cheap for what they do. Lord Relictor as well, for that +1. Prosecutors, Reclusians, it looks like they are more tough than people gave them credit for. Then Lorenzo Tossi was running Slaves to Darkness in the God's Wrath Warband, with the Manifestation Law being Primal Energy. His General's Regiment was Be'lakor, the Dark Master, 2 units of Chaos Furies, reinforced unit of Varangard with the Bark of Khorne, Chaos Sorcerer Lord, unit Chaos Knights, and a unit of Varangard. So, a little bit similar to what we've seen in the past, which is super okay. Furies for tactics, Vanguard for fighting. New book out soon, super excited. Then Mime Varen Aruzo was running Stormcast Eternals as well, in the Vanguard Wing battle formation, Manifestation Lobby and Primal Energy. He had Karazai, a unit of Praetors, a unit of Vanguard Raptors long-strike crossbows that was reinforced, a unit of Vigilers, Lord Celestial and Stardrake, Vexilla, Praetors, and Vigilers. That Stardrake's so popular right now, really good, super fun, 2 big dragons, 5-up ward saves, and loads of little units doing stuff. And then while you try and deal with the dragons, you get shot by crossbows forever. And those crossbows are basically 2 units, right? They're a unit that's shooting your turn, unit that's shooting your opponent's turn. So you effectively have 12 long strike crossbows, kind of, pseudo. Like, not really, but you know what I mean. You're getting the output. You're basically, long strikes with a 360 point. So you're basically kind of playing with like a 2,300 point list. It's kind of a way of saying it, I guess. Anyway, Ambrogio Ficini, that's definitely wrong, was running a Cities of Sigmar list with a Collegiate Arcane Expedition. His Manifestation Lord was a Kronspine Incarnate, and he had a Rune Lord with a reinforced unit of Hammerers twice. That's 60 Hammerers. Then a Sorceress, 2 units of Dark Riders, a Sorceress, a unit of Dark Shards, and a unit of Executioners. And then finally a Rune Lord. This is really fun. I talked about this when we did the review of the army. Obviously, the Hammerers are just so effective right next to that Rune Lord. I would say that when the Cities book comes out, I feel like... it's 40 Hammerers. You're absolutely right. 40 Hammerers, not 60 Hammerers. I do feel like when we do see the Cities book, we are going to see most of these models go away. So if you're like really inspired by this and you're like, that's an incredibly cool army, because it is an incredibly cool army and now I want it, it's probably going to go away. But obviously super fantastic right now. And people are having to pivot in Age of Sigmar 4 into the Hammerers and the Dark Shards and the Executions, which they previously didn't have. Pretty tough. And then finally, Sergio Godina was running Nighthaunt in Deathstalkers with a Cronspine Incarnate. He had an Alrak, the Drowner, 2 reinforced unit of Bladegeist Revenants, a reinforced unit of Grimcast Reapers, Lord Executioner, 3 units of minimum Hexwraiths, so 15 in total, and then Reichner, the Grim Hailer. Still running Deathstalkers. I think, Nighthaunt are in a good spot now. They're still very, very strong. People are still playing with them. But yeah, they're not as strong as they once were, which I think is fine. So yeah, very cool selection of armies. A great event. Thanks to the Italian community for reaching out as well. Loads of love to all of them. Yeah, and you should go and play there if you can, because they are all so lovely. Our next event takes us over to California. Cyprus in California, into this nondescript CIA black site that we have going on over here, soon to be the home of a lot of people. So then the Bad Blood How About That GT had 27 players battling it out to be the champs. And the champ was, ladies and gentlemen, the champ of this event, organized by Emilio Cruz, shout out to Emilio, was my friend Matt the Nuge with his Beast of Chaos. Now, importantly, Matt the Nuge got 4 wins and a loss, unlike his friend Gavin, who got 4 wins and a draw. So technically, Gavin's a better Beast of Chaos player. Anyway, he's got the Marauding Brayherd with the Manifestation Bestial Law. He's got Great Brave Shaman. Then 1 reinforced unit of Bestigors, 2 reinforced unit of Bestigors, 3 reinforced units of Bestigors, and 4 reinforced units of Bestigor. With the Great Brave Shaman and 2 units of Ungor. Incredible. Well done to the Nuge. Absolutely fantastic. I think I'm willing to say at this stage, very thematic. Then in the 4-1 section as well, we've got Alec Jerome running the Blades of Khorne in the Bloodbound Warhorde. His general's regiment was a Slaughter Priest and a reinforced unit of Skull Reapers. And then he had Karanak, a unit of Claws of Karanak and the Fleshhounds. Then an Aspiring Deathbringer and a reinforced unit of Blood Warriors, a unit of Blood Creators and a unit of Wrathmongers. And then Bloodstoker and a unit of Wrathmongers. So it makes a lot of sense for the Khorne army to go multiple small units, MSU, because obviously you generate Blood Tithe when you do finally lose a unit. Also, it's much harder for your opponent to specifically take out your big centerpiece model when you've got lots of units. But this big brick of Blood Warriors holding the line is very, very cool. So I like that. Then Benjamin Hoskin, great human being, running Slaves of Darkness in the God's Wrath Warband. He had a Chaos Sorcerer Lord, a reinforced unit of Chaos Knights, a Gaunt Summoner, and then 3 reinforced unit of Chaos Warriors with the Mark of Nurgle. Now, we've seen him play this already, which is 11 out of 10. We've already seen him play this and do really well with it. It's an incredible brick of incredibly hard to shift models with that Mark of Nurgle. And hopefully there's no way in the future that the Mark of Nurgle is going to get any stronger, because they're already tough to shift. Well done to Benjamin. New Slaves to Darkness book soon. Bobby Joe Thomas was running Flesh Eater Courts in the Royal Menagerie. His manifestation law was the Manifested Insanity. He had Nagash, a Crypthaunt Courtier, reinforced unit of Crypt Horrors, reinforced unit of Morbeg Knights, reinforced unit of Morbeg Knights. Nagash is now obviously very, 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 very good. But Morbeg Knights seem to be the support piece or the great piece that's in Flesh Eater Courts that's really driving home them doing well on the top tables at all. And then finally, Aaron was running Achillean Beastmasters. I know Deacon's so hot right now. His manifestation was Primal Energy. He had the Aspect of the Storm, a reinforced unit of, a small unit of Ishling Guard, a Leviathan, an Aspect of the Sea, a small unit of Guard, and a second turtle as hit Age of Sigmar. 2 Leviathans, 2 aspects, 1 aspect of the sea, 1 aspect of the storm. Incredible stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely incredible stuff. The Bad Blood GT feels like it's a great time with a great group of people. And if you're over in that side of the world in the USA, you should go and hang out with those people. Our next event takes us to Canada, to, for some reason, Alberta, which the chat have been furiously angry about. I don't know anything about Alberta, so I apologize. And we're taking this over to here, Edmonton in Alberta. But this event not only did it have 27 players and has been wrongly written as the USA. So it's Canada. It did, this is pretty important, have a $2,000 cash prize pool. Now, this is Canadian dollars, which is like 800 US or whatever it is, or whatever. But yeah, $2,000 cash prize. Okay, $2,000. And I know loads of people in the comments are going to be having thoughts about that. So let me know what you're in the comments, what you think about that. Okay, so if we go and look at who was able to win the event, this was organized by Aidan Volber. We can see that the Realm Gate Hunt event, our first place and $2,000 cash prize is Calvin Osterdahl with his Lumineth Realm Lords. He took the Venaria Battle Host, Elena and Elithor, a Hurricane Wind Mage, 20 Sentinels, 10 Dawn Riders, a Calagrave, 10 more Wardens, a River Blades, and the Saviors of Cinderfall. They're back. So able to pick up a $2,000 cash prize, the Saviors of Cinderfall, the Saviors of the Wallet, which is cool. And as well as this, obviously LRL still featuring. Now we go look at the 4-1s. We can see for Stormcast Eternals, Kieran Timbit had Stormcast Eternals. Let me just go find the list. And then he was running Sentinels of Bleak Citadel, still doing really well. Ionis Cryptborn, Praetors, Storm Coven, Reinforced Unit Vigilers, Lord Commander Bastion Carthlos, sorry. Prosecutors, and Reclusians. Both the Prosecutors and Reclusians were reinforced as well. So this is now a non-dragon-based list, but same battle formations, Sentinels, the Bleak Citadels. Same kind of units, Reclusians. We haven't seen Prosecutors feature loads, but we have seen the Storm Coven as well. This is new Stormcast, don't forget. So we've got ourselves that always strike first kind of teleport from the Portaloo as well. So it's nice seeing Stormcast constantly doing well. Then we got Calvin, or did Calvin win the event, actually? Yeah, Calvin won the event. Then Quinn with his Gloomspite Gits. I was running the Squigalanch, Morbid Conjuration and Manifestation Lord, Dankhold Trogboss. Then he had 2 units of 6 Rock Guts, 2 units of 24 Squig Herd with a Squig Boss. Fungoid Cave Shaman was bringing 2 more units of 24 Squig Herd. So now we're into the game. Rock Gut still featuring heavily in the list, but now he was able to add an incredible amount of Squig Herd as well. In here. So shout out to Quinn. That's an incredibly cool list. I think we might see more of the Squig version of Gits in the next few weeks, next few months. I think going into LVO and also CanCon in January, 2 big marquee events. I think we'll see them more and more. Then we've seen Jared, and he's running Disciples of Tzeentch in the Manifestations of Tzeentch, and the Weird Flame Host. Kairos, Reinforced Unit of Horrors, Changecaster, Reinforced Unit of Pinks, Screamers of Tzeentch, and then a Zangor Shaman, Zangor Skyfire, Zangors, and Zangors again. So quite a few Zangor, a Reinforced Unit of 20 and another unit of 10. Screamers is quite an interesting pick as well. Very cool, but again, Tzeentch doing really well at the moment. And then lastly, Cody on the Idoneth Deepkin hype. Keelan Beastmasters with the Cronspine Incarnate, an Aspect of the Storm, more Reinforced Unit of Guard, Reinforced Unit of Eastland Guard, an Aspect of the Sea, a Reinforced Unit of Eastland Guard, and a Leviathan with a Tidecaster. So Deepkin are back. Are they necessarily 5-0 back? No, but they're definitely in that 4-1 category back, and that's wicked to see. Anyway, shout out to everyone at the Realm Gate Hunt. Hope they had a great time. Okay, our next event takes us over to Ohio. Sounds like a great state to live. Ohio for BolterCon 2024, organized by Jesse Brown. Shout out to Jesse. The event was organized at this hotel. Now, just a hotel in Ohio, but near an IKEA. What are you saying? A bit of Swedish meatballs for lunch? I'll take that. That's not bad. So shout out to a great spot for BolterCon 2024, where we had 23 players battling out to be the champs. The champion was Harry Isaacson, and he was playing Seraphon, which is cool to see. He was running Suncore Star Host with Morbid Conjuration. And then he had a Slan Star Master, a Hunters of Hauntry with Starstone Bowlers, and Saurus Guard. And then he had Saurus Scarvet, and then 3 reinforced unit of Agrodon Lancers, which is kind of going against convention. We saw like a real Croxagore hype over the past couple of months. And then we started to see a bunch of the Raptidon Ride Chargers, as well. But this is just a lot of meat on the table. You kill a unit, Stan's going to bring half a unit back. Very cool to see. Shout out to Harry. Going down the 4-1 list, we got John Anderson running Nighthaunt in Deathstalkers and Morbid Conjuration with Ragnar the Grim Hailer, 3 units of Hexwraiths, 1 of them's Enforced, Lord Executioner, Ararat the Giona, a reinforced unit of Bladegeist Revs, Chain Gas, and Dreadscythe Harridans. So just similar to lots of Nighthaunt lists previously. And then we get Clay Franchère with Stormcast Eternal's Vanguard Wing. Then we've got Karazai, a unit of Praetors that was reinforced instead of it being minimum for that 5-up ward save. Then we got Vanguard Paladors with Shock Hand Axes that was reinforced. Vanguard Raptors Long Strike Crossbows ×2, both reinforced. So 12 long strikes and the Stormreach Portal. That's wild because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units only, 2 of which you never want to get in combat, which are the Vanguard Raptors. You got the Paladors, which is like this is a solid brick, and then you've got the General. That's got to be hard for board control. So all in a 1-drop, that's an incredibly good result, I think, for like limited board state, but obviously a lot of output, which I think is cool. Then you got Brendan Melnick running Flesh Eater Courts in the Royal Menagerie, and then his manifestation law was the Morbid Conjuration. General's regiment was Ushran, the Mortek of Delusion, and Crypt Ghouls, and then his other regiment was Nagash, Crypt Ghouls, and a Royal Terrorgeist. Oh my god, Ushran and Nagash, same list. And a Terrorgeist, wild. Obviously, you can put like a lot of objective control with monsters on the board. It's pretty fun. But that is a very interesting list to hit in a 4-1 as well. Anyway, hope everyone had a great event. Let's go look at the next one. Our next event takes us to Australia for the Dread Games November AOS. This took place in Penrith, over in, like I say, in Australia, which is just near Sydney, which is cool. So we had 150 in Pew Hin. I apologize if I've said that wrong. With Stormcast Eternals. Running the Thunderhead host, his manifestation law was a Crunchbite Incarnate. He had Knight Zephyros as the general, 2 units of Aetherwings, 2 units of Vanguard Raptors Long Strike Crossbows. 1 unit of Vanguard Raptors Long Strike Crossbows, and then 1 unit of Vanguard Raptors with Hurricane Crossbows. The Long Strikes were reinforced. And then a Lord Imperator, and then 3 units of Annihilators with Grand Hammers, and then Gardas and the Gryphounds and the Knight Arcanum and Mirror Shield. What's interesting about this is Lord Imperator can obviously make one of the units move a little bit closer when it deep strikes, and Gardas, when he deep strikes, gives them additional attacks and gives them +1 to their charges. So they're going to be able to deep strike and sometimes make like I think 6-inch charges, I think in some of the cases. But either way, +1 to the charges as well is very effective. And we talked about this before, but Annihilators with Grand Hammers do some outrageous damage. Then backed up with the Hurricane Hurricane Crossbows and Long Strikes, maybe to clear screens so those guys can get where they need to go. That's a very cool list. Shout out to Pew Hin for that. In the 4-1 section, we got Benjamin Law with Nighthaunt. We've got Deathstalkers Battle Formation with Primal Energy. Then Ragnar the Grim Hailer, 2 units of 10 Hexwraiths, Dreadblade Harrows, Lord's Executioner, Guardian of Souls, Bladegeist Revs, Chain Gas, and Dreadscythe Harridans. So again, just lots of bodies with an unrenderable save is just going to always be very, very effective. And the Jared Baker with Daughters of Cain running Grand Alliance Order, running Scath Coven as a battle formation with Morbid Conjuration, Marathi Cain, Blood Sisters, Blood Stalkers, Hag Queen, 2 units of K-Knight Shadow Stalkers. Very cool. Very cool. I feel like Daughters of Cain should be doing loads better. They have the battle tactics and they have the board presence early. Maybe it's just a tempo situation, I don't know. But I feel like with the deep strikes for the battle tactics, I feel like they're in a good spot. So congrats to Jared for proving me right. That's cool. Our next event takes us over to Portugal, which is quite exciting because this is Portugal's first 2-day event. This is, I'm going to make sure I say this right, Batalha de Corvos, with 21 players taking place in Portugal. I know for a fact, I know that the Portuguese community are going to be super excited about the growth of their community over there. Pedro has been working super hard to inspire people in that community, and I love seeing this. We've talked about this loads. Those smaller little communities, like we talked about the Bolivians the other day, The small little community is growing. There's already a fantastic community in Spain. It's great to see another community developing and growing in Portugal as well. And thankfully, Pedro's been able to do an interview with the winner, which we're going to look at in just a moment. If we go look at the lists, we can see that the winning list was Venari Battle Host Lumineth Realm Lords list, with a General's Regiment being a Venari Lord Regent, a Venari, a unit of 20 Sentinels, 2 reinforced unit of Dawn Riders, a Caligrave and unit of Riverblades. So kind of mirroring what we've seen in the UK at the Warfare event as well, which is super cool. This was run by David Costa, and we're about to hear from David and Pedro now in this video.
Hey everyone, we just wrapped up the biggest AOS tournament in Portugal so far with 22 players, which was a big achievement for us. And we got the winner of the tournament here, David Costa. So David, how long have you been playing? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I've been playing this game, or other versions of this game, since 2000, so 24 years ago. It's been a long time, and the game has changed a lot. And it's been very interesting. I'm still in love with the game. A lot of people are also in love with the game for a long, long time. They've traveled this path with me together. I have a YouTube channel, so I'm taking the advantages publicizing.
Well, what's the name?
Hammer of War. I've been on hiatus, so I haven't been publishing much, but hopefully
You get back to it.
Yeah, hopefully one day, one of these days. It's been very interesting.
Okay, and how do you feel about winning the biggest tournament in Portugal so far?
I feel very good, of course. Very interesting to win these tournaments. I think the level of competitiveness has risen substantially from other years, and that also translates into a number of players. So we have more players and have better players, in my opinion. It was very challenging, much more challenging than other editions. So I feel very good because of that, because of winning, of course.
Nice. So you were playing Lumineth with a couple of reinforced units of Dawn Riders.
Yes.
How do you think your list fares in the current meta? Maybe not the national one, because we just saw the results, but if you had to take your list to an international tournament, what would be your guess?
I think if I took Lumineth, I would take this list, honestly, because I know that the Huracan build is very popular with the foxes and the movement. It's been nerfed, so it's not as reliable as it used to be. But I think 2 big blocks of Dawn Riders can work both as an anvil and a hammer, which provides a lot of flexibility to the list. And I've seen that throughout the tournaments. Most of my opponents charged me because they were afraid of the Dawn Rider charged. And they didn't take them out as quickly as they thought they would because of Shining Company, because of protection of Aish, because of 3+ armor save, 3 wounds. So very mobile, 2 very mobile hammers that can also work as handles in certain situations, and very, very buffable, basically. So whatever. I would take this list for honesty. And Callison Toll is
it's
stable.
I think everyone hopes at this point that they will go up in points.
It's a very good angle.
GW, you need to increase the points on Callus and Toll.
Yes, but please don't hurt Cities of Sigmar. They're fine.
Except Hammerburgers. Okay, and just for us, just tell us what was your hardest matchup and why?
By far, my hardest matchup was Anton with Stormcuts. He did also charge me turn 1, but he charged me with, how do you call them, the wrist. The guys that have the shock MXs. Never mind, the 5 wound guys, the charge. Yeah, and he charged both my units of Dawn Riders, and he pinned also by a small fraction the Sentinels. So to get rid of that, it took me a turn and a half, basically. So it was a very hard matchup because he basically put Karazai in the middle with the Craters, and I was just fighting Karazai with my 2 big Dawn Rider units from almost turn 1.
Minus no attack, right?
-2 attack.
Right,
Most of the time.
Yeah. Heroes is
The
interesting piece.
and I charged, but I didn't finish him off, and then I was attrition. And I just barely managed to win the game at the end because of lack of time and because he got stuck there for a long time. But it was very hard. He plays very, very, very well.
And Anton also won the best sports.
And also won the best sports. It was a very, the ending was a bit messy and he was very cool about it. So,
Okay.
very nice.
Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much for coming. Congratulations on the
organizing it.
I'm here for the community.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, Mom. See ya.
Bye.
So we can also go look at the 4-1s. And Rue Carvola, I'm going to say that badly, I apologize, was running, let's wait for Longshanks to load, was running a Slave Start assist with God's Wrath Warband. His manifestation law was a Forbidden Power. He had Bellicor, Unit Chaos Knights, a reinforced unit of Chaos Warriors of Mark and Nurgle. Maybe they're becoming on trend now. A Gaunt Summoner. This is like the 4th Gaunt Summoner we've read out now, so that is on trend. Reinforced unit of Chaos Chosen, Chaos Furies, and a Raptorix as well. Anton Poe was running, let's go find out right now, on this website. Is running. I'm just going to take this moment to say thanks for watching my videos. I hope you enjoy my videos. Please do leave comments and like and subscribe. Okay, was running a Stormcast Eternals list with Vanguard Wing. His manifestation law was Primal Energy with Karazai, unit of Praetors, reinforced unit of Vanguard Raptor Longstrike Crossbows, as is tradition, and then a small unit of Paladors with Shock Andexes, then Knight Arcanum, Gryphounds, Vanquishers, and Vigilers. And the regiments are renowned the Saviors of Cinderfall. So they are back. Literally didn't see them last week. Now we've seen them 4 times, which is great. Shout out to Anton. And then our second to last 4-1 is Alex Wolf. Alex was running a Cruel Boys list with the Lightfinger battle formation. His manifestation law was the Primal Energy. He had Kragnos, a Beaskewer Killbow, a unit of Monster Killers, and then a reinforced unit of Bolt Boys. Then a Swamp Caller Shaman, Gut Rippers, both reinforced, so 40 Gut Rippers, that's amazing. And then Hobgrot Slitters. Second Cruel Boys up there as well. Said it couldn't be done, and it is done. And lastly, Kane Doherty was running, not a very Portuguese name, was running a Silver Length list in Outcast. His manifestation law was the manifestation of the Deepwood. And then his general regiment is Alariel, Kurnoth Hunters with Great Bows, reinforced unit, Belthanos, Gossamer Archers, Tree Revenants, and Spirit of Durthu as well. So Spirit of Durthu. Anyway, I'm really proud of the Portuguese community coming together and playing. I hope you continue to grow, and I hope keep having bigger events. More people join you, and I hope it continues to be a wonderful time. Our next event, Kia ora, takes us over to New Zealand, where we've got the Wellington Grand Tournament. We had 20 players battling it out over here, and Bo, pretty certain Bo's already got a GT win, maybe his 3rd GT win over in New Zealand, is running Nighthorn, and he was running Deathstalkers with the manifestation law being the Chthonic Sorceries. He had Lady Alinda, reinforced unit of Blade Geist Revs, Outright the Drowner, small unit of Blade Geist Revs, small unit of Harridins, and then Night Shroud on Ethereal Steeds, reinforced unit of Hexwraiths, reinforced unit of Hexwraiths. Very much something we're seeing across lots of these lists is the double reinforced cavalry. It's making a big impact in the game. Shout out to Bo for still doing so well. Alex Sinclair is playing Daughters of Cain, and then he is running the Scath Coven battle formation with Marathi, a Hag Queen, 5 Doomfire Warlocks, 9 Shadow Stalkers, and then, sorry, I forgot to mention 10 Blood Sisters, 10 Blood Sisters, and 10 Blood Stalkers. And just like I said previously, I'm not sure why I'm not seeing Daughters of Cain do better, but I think maybe it's got a survivability issue. We'll see. But well done to Alex. And then Phil Cordy was running Gloomspike Gitz. He was running Scragrot, a Dankhold Trog Boss, 2x6 Rock Guts, a 3rd Rock Gut, and then 3 Rock Guts as well, with 40 Moonclan Shooters, 5 Spider Riders, and the Gobberpalooza. So you've still got 15 Rock Guts, but the Shooters coming in really hot right now. I think people are really enjoying that unit. Spider Riders probably for battle tactics. Anyway, shout out to everyone in New Zealand. Hope you're doing well. Loads of love. Keep growing as a community. I know you've got a really good scene there. Lots of people are very active. Keep having a good time. Our next event takes us over to Sweden for the Rosler Jet GT. In first place, we have Jonas Jansson with Soulblight, or Johansson, sorry, with Soulblight Gravelords. His sub-faction was the Bacchanal of Blood. His manifestation was the Primal Energy. He had Neferata, 2 units of Blood Knights, Lucavi, a unit of Direwolves, a unit of Varghese, a Vampire Lord, 3 units of minimum Death Rattle Skeletons as well. So Soulblight Gravelords again up here. Like, I think Daughters of Cain, Soulblight Gravelords kind of sleeper hits over the court. Seraphon as well. All kind of sleeper hits over this week, which is really nice. Oh, talking to Seraphon, Johannes Elvin, also with Seraphon as well, running the Sunclaw Star Host with the Morbid Conjuration Manifestation Law. He had a Skink Starseer, Hunters of Haunted Starstone Bowlers, Reinforced Croxagores, Reinforced Raptidons, Small Raptidons, saw a Scarvet on Carnosaur with a reinforced unit of Agrodon Lancers and some Saurus Warriors. So that's really interesting because there isn't a Slan there. And that's wild to see. A Slan not in a list unless I've no, can't see a Slan. Really interesting. And lastly, Daughters of Cain. Speaking of Daughters of Cain as well, again, little sleeper hits on a 4-1. We are seeing a Scath Coven list with the Manifestation or the Manifestations of Cain, Morathi Cain, unit of Blood Sisters, unit of Bloodstalkers, both reinforced, the Shadow Queen, the Iron Scale, and then 2 units of Heart Renders. Just so good for doing tactics. Shout out to Sweden. They constantly have events now all the time. I feel like they're starting to get to that stage where they have so many events that they can really like diversify and have these like smaller 20-person, 30-person events, which is cool. So big congratulations to them. Our last event takes us over to Canada, where we have 18 players battling it out for the Dwellers Below AOS GT. In first place, we've got Michael Sabetti with Stormcast Eternals. He's running Vanguard Wing with Karazai, Reinforced Praetors, Reinforced Long Strikes twice, so 12 Long Strikes again, and then Vanguard Paladors with Shock Hand Axes as well. All in a 1-drop, absolutely devastating. Drop everything, shoot, fight. Board control seems really hard, but it seems very effective because it keeps winning games. Jonathan Ho is running OCR Bone Reapers with Morbid Conjuration. Nagash, 3 lots of 10 Death Riders, 5 Death Riders, and Leech Cavalos. We've talked about this a lot on the previous shows, but just pin and fight, and Nagash brings back 10. It's basically 30 Death Riders. And then finally, Ridge. We love Ridge. He's the best. And then he's got a Warp Cod Convocation with a Manifestation or Forbidden Power for a Skaven army. He's got an Arch Warlock, a unit of Doom Flayers, reinforced unit of Rattling Guns, a Rattling Gun unit, a reinforced unit of Warpvault Scourgers, and Graceers and Clan Rats. Clan Rats make an incredible screen. And then because they can bring models back, even when you kill a unit, you can bring half the unit back, and you got all of that shooting off the front. Very effective. Skaven doing very well in that shooting. And that is everything from this weekend. And honestly, sure, the top of the list, top of the pile, if you're watching this video from you're not watching the end of the video, but you only watch the beginning, it's Bestigors all the way down. Very true. Very, very effective. But actually, Stormcast constantly featuring in these lists. LRL still back as well. We haven't seen things like Iron Jaws at all, but definitely not the Tzeentch dominance we saw last week. Feels like everyone is on an Idnet Deepkin tip. Everyone's very excited about that. You're seeing them all the time, but definitely Stormcast something to constantly be talking about. We saw double Soulblight. We saw Soulblight more than once. We saw Daughters of Cain popping off. We saw Sinesh popping off. We've seen a bunch of different armies. Seraphon is the one I was searching for. So loads of diversity across the game, and also even the armies that we saw a lot of. They seem like quite diverse lists as well. So pretty cool. I would say remember we had the weekend a couple of weeks ago. It was the Weekend of Hope. Feels like we're in the Weekend of Hope again, like diverse, comfortable, lots of stuff happening, lots of different lists and play styles doing really well. And also, I think the thing to talk about over this weekend, 400 players playing across the weekend, 13 events across 8 different countries, with places like Portugal getting their new big event as well, which we love to see. So I think, community is growing. We talked about that on the other show the other week. More events, more players. It's great to see. Thanks for watching the Wargamer Stats Center. We'll see you at the Age of Sigmar Stats Center. We'll see you soon. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.